The reason why it's broken right now is because HNIC right now is just Elon Musk. I don't know. They're saying like he didn't pay the web portal Google.
Wait. You saying the man did not pay his bills?
That's what the allegation is.
Wow. Okay.
So like, because there's something where they had to renegotiate. So it's like an ongoing story, right? So I was researching, and it went from like he didn't pay the service of Google, because that's how the communication of Twitter and Google work, like the interaction, to to like they have to mend relationships because he didn't pay, but now he's paying again, but they have to mend the relationship. And it's a lot of...
So is this like an outstanding balance or something, like an invoice that was missed and they're trying to refute on it? And like,
I don't know if they're looking at it like hey, you had like a no payment thing, so like
you need to pay this,
we're gonna need like
a little bit more,
not just a little bit more, but like, yo, your word has to be like better, more bonded to you, because like right now...
How long was this? You know what?
Now this started happening this week, Monday. So what happened is...
so when did it get defaulted? That's the question.
The situation started happening like, or I'll say roughly Monday, but the whole payment thing, that was from like what, like last year. So
they have been dealing with a outstanding balance from 2022, and it has not been settled in 2023.
Let me. We do research.
That's
always
wild.
On the show, but
Wild.
There's something with Elon Musk.
I'm still trying to understand where Google's is, like, what is their role with Twitter? Because Twitter, how would they actually use or want to incorporate Google? Because the only thing I could think of is like when you want to tag a location,
right,
and or tracking. That's the only thing I could think of that Google would supplement to them, and that would be the only service that they would acquire. But like, what are they paying Twitter?
So it's like, I know Google does that, what you're saying in general, but keep in mind Google has a big cloud business, like a very big one. And cloud, just to break the magic up, it's basically a very big ass hard drive that can hold at least like 2,000 terabytes minimum to 10,000 terabytes of information. So a good reference to this for those watching, look up the show Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot is actually a good show because it shows the main character Elliot. He's in one of these facilities, and you see the server setups and everything, and each block is like 2,000 terabytes, 2,000 terabytes, 2,000 terabytes. So part of how like the internet works is like all these services access those informations. So there's all Ethernet cords connected to it and everything, and that's how we save and access information on the internet.
Wow.
So if someone were to bomb that thing, everything would be wiped out.
Yeah,
it's like nothing will be kept on record.
Right.
Manda and Galvin will have to go back to books. Unless they burned that down. And that happened in history before, where people, certain tribes and civilizations get invaded.
Yeah.
They take all their books, burn it. So it's almost like you forget about your beings, right? You know, it's happened to certain people. You know, I'm not saying any names, but you know. But
woo, wow.
But nah. The HNIC of Twitter right now, Elon Musk.
Yes.
He didn't pay the cloud thing, like the actual
cloud service.
Storage.
Yeah.
So that Twitter can access. Have the access to. Yeah. Basically, infinite access.
Yeah. So right now we're on limited data server. Like.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Very limited.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I'm trying to hold on.
So your interaction with Twitter is limited right now. And who is it affecting?
Everybody's Twitter. Everybody. So if you are unverified, you only get to view 600 tweets per day. When you say view 600 tweets per day, meaning, let's say you just go on the website, you start out, whatever's on that trending page, you already blew out 5 because it's counted as a viewed tweet. You start scrolling down, bam, that's another 10, 15 gone, another 5 gone.
Dang, by the time you get through 10 swipes,
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
You already meet like 50.
You find the thread you like. Each tweet in that thread, and retweets too, as James said earlier before we went live. Each tweet in that thread counts as a view. So you'll be looking at all the comments, people posting memes, people posting information, kikiing, laughing, and then all of a sudden, you get a picture, and I'll put it to.
Of like you've exceeded your daily scroll.
No, you're laughing, Z. You're laughing, but hold on.
That's crazy.
So you end up getting this. So I'll show it to those in posts.
Rate limit exceeded.
Rate limit exceeded. So you'll be looking and you'll be like, hey, why can't I see anything? Yeah, it's exceeded. No more. Done. Come back tomorrow.
Not they're trying to do parental advisory controls on you.
Now that's interesting you use that term. Now, I know Twitter is very Wild West when it comes to that.
That's crazy.
But I think you're going at another way, which is interesting. It's almost like you finish your homework, but you have 30 minutes to watch TV or play your video game. You only have 30 minutes. You think to come in at that angle?
Like they're limiting your ability to actually interact with this app,
right? Which is very unlimited before. Just because the HNIC didn't pay or didn't mend
that's crazy
with the Google Cloud thing.
That's crazy. But that's quite a reality check. That's like one of those moments where everything's good in your household and then your parents don't pay certain things and you're like, why don't I have access to the... Well, right now we're going through a hard time and certain things are going to change now.
Wow. I should actually put a viewer discretion, because that may trigger some people. Somebody must have a flashback by now. Be I used to... The lights were cut off and we had to light candles and everything.
Because somebody didn't pay the bill or they couldn't afford to pay it, or there's still a decision they were transitioning from one thing to another and they decided they wanted a better service or a server, but in that time of them debating, they had to cut it so they can leave it open for something else.
That's crazy. Because right now it's if you just made an account, you're like, Twitter's interesting, let me check this out. You only have 300 views. So, you scroll a little bit and you're already rate exceeded.
Yeah.
Now, if you're verified, catch the joke, it's 10,000.
Okay.
So, the second onion peel of this is, okay, I can see why people would speculate that he wants people to pay for Twitter Blue.
Yeah, it's definitely pushing for that.
Right?
But does it mean who are your actual users though? Do you know who your users are? Because I don't think a lot of these people were on Twitter just for the shits and giggles of it all, right?
And the craziness of Twitter. Jeez.
Right. And it's a very creative space. So it just sounds like he's corporatizing this creative space. And now pushing out the actual creativity, saying that, okay, now you guys have to pay to be here.
You have to pay, yeah.
This is giving elitism, hierarchy. It's giving, I'm now bearing and obligated to you not paying your bills.
Interesting. Now, another onion that they're talking about is because of what's happening in France, they're trying to suppress that too. Which is... You've had to mush up a whole server just to suppress...
To do that?
To suppress people seeing the image of civil unrest. right? Because
But that goes back to the whole like censorship that Canada is trying to push here.
right with the bill that was
Yes.
passed recently.
I mean, we were talking about this in earlier episodes where are we okay if Canada decided to lock all media from outside and just made it where it's containing to just us in Canada?
I think we might find that out in real time, which people say, well, you can use a VPN and get around it. So
This is true.
So I don't even know what's actually being accomplished, really.
But then again, maybe you probably won't. I mean, like things like Netflix, for example, when they did that whole one user thing and you have to verify your address. How dare they? I heard they had a dip in sales for that.
I imagine they try to put an article saying no, the sales were going up, and I'm like no.
Now you have to actually pay.
I can't imagine like the sales going up after that. Like no.
Yeah. But censorship on Twitter, that's a little wild. A lot of the best memes came off of Twitter.
Yeah.
Like memes, conversations. I feel like Twitter is definitely a culture trender.
Oh yeah, and it's how fast it is too.
Yeah.
Like
you'll probably see a problem or a situation that happens on Twitter before anywhere.
Like one of the stories we covered with Diverse, the music dancehall artist. That was already on Twitter by the time. And then, as we were talking about it, there were like different angles of it happening in real time, and then by then, or like I use the example again now with France. It was this person got shot at a traffic stop. Allegedly, there's some body cam footage and witnesses that said that's not what happened. And then obviously when there was like no like next step to like ease the situation, they're just like, you know what? Yeah.
Twitter.
And then also like everything, because it's Twitter, it's thrown on the timeline immediately, and then people start retweeting it, and it gets on the feed, and then on the sides for those that use Twitter, all of a sudden, you see the topic at hand, like France riot,
trending,
or France not riot, but France unrest or whatever, or Spready Gibbs, or battle rap, or our presidency, Canada.
Twitter is like the good-looking version of Reddit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's like its beautiful brother.
It's like the beautiful brother of Reddit.
Yeah.
Because
like you have to rank it up for Reddit. But Twitter, it's about resharing. So once you reshare it, that's what makes it trend.
You'll be onto something.
Yo,
although, compared to Reddit though, you don't see ill stuff on Twitter though. Like you could be looking at Twitter, dead body. You're like, what? Looking on Twitter, outright sex. Whoa, okay. Looking on Twitter, dead body again, like a really graphic dead body. I'm just like, yo, this is.
See, well
it's
then
too like.
There's no advisory.
Yeah, there's no
explicit content warning or anything like that. Well then, like that's something that the algorithm they would have to figure that out in their algorithm, right? So like
if they have the money. I don't know if they have the money.
I guess now they gotta pay the bills first. Where they can even do that. It's like, but like that would be a part of that. You know, you would have to just increase your AI, because let's say that they do use AI, unless they do have people scanning through it. They probably don't, but
right.
Let's assume they have AI, and Elon Musk is a man of AI and the importance of artificial intelligence. Why wouldn't he have this integrated in Twitter? So, say they have an AI. The AI should be able to recognize when graphic things are happening. I mean, I've noticed that they would put even the explicit content and permission thing on a meme of somebody crying.
Oh, like...
Yeah, so it like, I think it just doesn't know how to read what is explicit and what is not. Like... And that's something that their algorithm will have to pick up.
Right.
They'll have to train it.
The crying.
It was a crying meme, literally the crying meme with the red eyes.
The Michael Jordan, yeah.
It was like, this is what you're saying is explicit content. All right.
Right.
So that's something they would have to work on, but
I don't know, this thing. I mean, they say he's backpedaling already. Like he's adding more
things.
But it's like the damage is done, right? You have to think of like advertisers too. Advertisers are probably like, yo, you need to step down. We told you to step down before, but you really need to like get off.
But now it's like, it really goes back to like, is he really complying with censorship here in Canada?